X-Pac 12360, featuring weekly news, insider commentary, and interviews with superstars, past and present from the world of pro wrestling.
A new day is dawning for DX.
And now, your host, Sean X-Pac Waltman.
Welcome to X-Pac 12360, everyone. I'm your host, Sean X-Pac Waltman. What's going on? This is the day after Halloween episode. And that being said, we have our usual suspects over on the couch, but Jimbo's got me looking like I'm looking in a mirror 25 years ago. No, not 25, more like 20 years ago. Yeah, that's how I looked on the doll you had, on the doll. Yeah. I'm sorry, the action figure.
What is this from?
98, 99, something like that.
97.
Come on.
Jack Specific Bone Crusher, 1997.
It was still 1997 when I showed back up there, wasn't it? Yeah.
They had it ready. They knew.
Yeah.
They knew.
They did know.
You're ready to go.
Yeah, see that? I didn't wear the red bandana very much because of the Crips and the Bloods thing.
I was about to
Really?
say that,
Yes.
yeah.
Was that like someone else told you don't do that?
No,
or you
I
just
think
knew
I
like,
pretty
hey,
much
I should
knew
probably
already.
not wear this?
Yeah. Yeah, being that we appropriate a lot of stuff from the gangster rap world, like I already knew these things. So, when I showed back up on Raw the day after WrestleMania, I actually had the dark blue. Was it the dark blue? I think it was.
The first night on Raw?
Yes, the dark blue bandana, because it's not that easy to find a black bandana out there, folks.
Really?
You get
At least
plenty-
it wasn't.
No, you can. I mean, you can find them in a variety pack with a white one and a blue one and a red one.
Go
but-
to the hood with a blue
Oh
slot.
no, I found it. I figured it out. But you gotta buy.
They'll be sold out of red and blues, but they'll have tons of black
They
ones.
have black, they have blue, they have pink,
sure.
they have green. 50 cents too.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Where you
the
go,
hood.
Sloss and Swap Meet?
No, there's a hood up in Panorama City. I get a whole bunch of them.
It's the right price.
You're like one of the Rock and Roll Express, just bandanas all over you.
I have a whole
They knew where to go.
bunch. Yeah, when I work out, I wear different bandanas. So.
Yeah, but I can only find like them in just not a package of black ones. There's only single.
One.
The bandana industry is racist as a mother. So, but I'm flattered that you took the time to dress up like
Thank you. I appreciate
like
it.
the old me.
Yeah. I went specifically for the Bone Cruncher action figure because
Yeah.
this is your first action figure I ever got. And I used to play with it.
Excellent job. and we got Baby Lula sitting.
She has a nice tutu on.
It's a wonderful
it's
dress.
Beautiful, right?
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did your
it's
mom
the-
get her this one too?
No, my daughter did. And it actually, all the stuff my mom got her doesn't fit. It's all way too big. Because the reason why the first ones were too small, and then she overcompensated. Anyways, that's a whole
She
other
looks
story
like a
for a
jazz
different
babe,
show.
though.
Yeah.
Yes, and she's tuckered out from this weekend. Oh, next to Baby Lula is the lovely Denise
Hey
Salcedo.
everyone, happy November, by the way, just in
Yeah.
case anyone didn't realize this year is flying by really fast.
Which reminds me, I want to congratulate my friend Ron Funches.
Yeah.
Bert
no toke.
Bert Kreischer. Is it Tom Segura? Ari Shafir,
I think Joe Rogan did it.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they all made it successfully through Sober October.
Is that what they called it?
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
I thought it was No Toke October.
Whatever.
Either way.
Stupid October.
Yeah.
Dumbass October.
Ron Funch's tweet was really funny. Like, my days are so long and dreaming is way overrated.
You know what? Here's the thing. I have plenty of vivid dreams, and I haven't not had cannabis in my system in quite a long time, and my dreams are very vivid, and I remember them as well. So I don't know if I subscribe to that. You don't dream on pot. That's bullshit.
Like, Joe Rogan says his were extremely vivid and very animalistic, like caveman style.
Oh, when he during the sober thing.
During the no
Sure.
toke, yeah.
Yeah.
So that I don't know, it was weird.
Yeah, I'm just fine with how my dreams work.
Yeah.
They work fine. Anyways, so over here on the table with me, with me on my table.
We're the uncool people. That's just
Right.
We're at the
sad.
kids' table. It's fine.
That's right.
know.
Up here, not down there.
Wait, but Lula's with us, so she's
It's all right.
technically our
She's my
team
one of my
captain.
kids.
Yeah.
We got Mark P. Donica. Is it P?
It's B. It's
Oh,
fine.
B. Sorry.
P's for pissed off. But hey, it's wonderful to be back on the show, to be at the table. Unfortunately, we're missing Bill Handstock today, but
Yeah.
I hope to fill the void as well as I could
I'm
for
just
him.
praying that everything's okay with Bill's cat.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a rough couple of weeks. Head over to Sundown Motel, that's his Twitter account, and just let him know you're thinking of him and send him some good thoughts, because he needs them.
Yeah. We love Bill. And the beautiful TK Trinidad, right? You know, the closest to me.
On the table.
But
On
she's
your
still,
table.
But I don't know. Actually, you're about. I don't think you could get any closer to Mark there.
Well, I mean, we're actually, it's like
Yeah.
siblings are like, I'm not
Yeah.
touching. Not just, we're like just that close.
Barely.
TK's rocking the X-Pac
Yeah.
Is she?
version
because
of
I
Sean
got the
Waltman.
memo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's your bandana, woman?
Oh man.
Forgot the
You
memo.
want to
All
borrow
those
one
50
of
cent
mine?
bandanas.
I know.
Speaking of Six-Pac, did you see Ringside Fest was in New York this week, and they revealed you're getting your first ever Six action figure? That's not cool to you?
Finally!
I mean, you never had one before. Now you have one of every one of your characters in an action figure. So now you'll probably get a 3-pack of all 3 of them together.
Yeah.
You might be the Black Friday special this year.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It could be.
Here's the funny part about the six action figure and everything that I wore when I was 6. It was all like mix match, random old tights and shit that I had like Conan bring from Mexico or whatever. Because I was telling you guys that we didn't have seamstresses when Morrison was here. Mm-hmm. We didn't have seamstresses in WCW. Mm-hmm. So if we couldn't get the girls from WWE to keep making our stuff, it was like, you're on your own. And I don't know why I was about. Oh, I know. That's why. Because that 6 doll, the 6 action figure, like the costume I'm wearing there was just like some mixed match ass,
It says Thug.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, Taz. Yeah, someone did it before you, Taz. He actually came to me and goes, "I didn't know you did that."
Really?
Yeah, and maybe he didn't. I'm assuming he probably didn't.
Was that
maybe.
his way of saying like, no, that's mine? Like, I didn't know you did that, but I do that. So like,
It's
don't do
okay.
it.
You're welcome to
whatever.
People are welcome to stuff I'm not using anymore. So yeah, I can't imagine where I got that thug on my stomach idea from. And then it said notorious down the side.
Did it really?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
You like rock music?
it was either on the side or on my ass. I can't remember which one said notorious on it.
Oh my god.
Notorious.
Funny.
Yeah, yeah, it's just cultural appropriation at its finest.
That was
Any
so
comment?
Nope.
No.
good. Nothing.
East or
Hey, at
West?
least I admit it.
That's true, but you
Yeah.
know, I think we all like. I think the general consensus is as long as you know where it's okay, as long as you acknowledge where it's coming from. So like
Yeah.
box blades did not start on Kim K. Like as long as you kind of know where that's coming from, then there's not an issue. And also don't do blackface, which people didn't get that memo yesterday either. So
Some people did.
most people did, but there's some people who didn't.
I didn't get it back in 1999.
Weren't you forced to do that? I remember you telling the story about
Forced? No, no one can. I wish I could say I was forced, but I mean, I protested.
that. Yeah.
I protested and I
That was
went
a
along
little, well, at
with it.
least you tried.
Yeah.
I'll give you that much. Some people just.
I've had people tell me. I bet people on both sides tell me on both sides of that. Oh no, it was. I'm going with that. I wish I hadn't have done it almost. I mean, some people thought it was great or whatever, and that's fine. But
Yeah.
I didn't know. I've already talked about this.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
mentioned
never
least a
mind.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think the thing is, people know, they kind of gauge where your heart is. And for instance, the whole Bill Maher thing that happened months ago, people were still upset, but they kind of let him like, all right, you're still about the cause, so we'll kind of let you slide on this one. It's kind of one of those things, and you don't seem like that type of person that will.
wow. Speaking of which, man, at Ralphie's memorial, there were more N-bombs dropped on stage that night. I was like, looking around for all the black people in the audience, looking for their reaction to it. Like,
It's comedy. It's a little bit
see,
different.
I know, but still.
Fortunately, but yeah.
Yeah, I get
because,
it.
what's his name does it all the time too. Louis.
Louis Anderson?
CK?
Not
Louis
CK.
C.K.
Yeah, he's done it on his stand-up before too. So
He
it's
got a ghetto pass?
well, kind of, sort of, yeah.
Really?
Black women kind of love him.
He took it at least one of the bits that I saw him utilize it with is how language works and how usage is important, but it's also still important to know where it comes
Yeah.
from. It's a very complex thing where the punchline hit really hard, but
If you're gonna do it like and include it in a joke, that joke better crush. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. It's kind of one of
You're
those
gonna
things.
get crushed.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. It's like a 50-50. I would rather people not use it, but if you use it, just be aware that there might be a time where if I give you a pass, the person down the block might not.
That's right.
So that's all on you.
You mean all black people don't have the same opinion on everything?
No, unfortunately not.
Get out.
Don't speak for all of them.
can you put the
I'm out of town.
let's get a timestamp on this?
Canadian from West Indian background does not have the same opinion of every other black person in the world, unfortunately.
I think I knew that.
So as a direct transition, how's your weekend?
You know what? It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. I flew into Minneapolis and I got there late at around midnight on Friday. My daughter was there to pick me up, and I hadn't seen her since last Christmas. And the next day I went to Fan HQ in Eden Prairie, and there was a huge turnout there. And so I spent an hour. I only had an hour to spare because I had to go from there to Duluth, Minnesota, and do the evening news for the show the next day, to promote the show the next day. But we stopped by and picked up my son, who I hadn't seen in over 4 years, and that was an amazing deal. Yeah.
How much time did you get to spend with him?
Any amount of time I can spend with my son after 4 years, I'm grateful to have. But we spent better part of 2 days.
It's great.
Yeah, and I wasn't even, I think it's a lot of people that are listening kind of know my story and know my situation with my kids, and my daughter came back around a couple of years ago. And it took a little while for my son to get back on board because, just because I got my shit together and I'm ready to be a dad again doesn't mean my kids are going to stop what they're doing and, just jump on board, the Happy Express. So I didn't have any preconceived expectations. I didn't know, hey, like my son, maybe he was going to be a dick the whole time, or maybe he still had carrying a lot of resentment around, and it was just amazing. I couldn't have been happier. He was happy to see me. My daughter, I already know she's happy to see me, so we had an amazing time. It didn't matter where I was going to be as long as I was with my kids, and great turnout in Duluth at Heavy on Wrestling. Lance Archer was there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he wrestled a guy named Mitch Paradise, who's a longtime Minnesota regular. He's a bigger guy. Was still in good shape. Gangrel worked with Kevin Thorne. It was like
wow.
Yeah, it was a Halloween themed. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, the
What a
thing
tag
is,
team.
though, this is the thing. It was booked as a first blood match, but neither of the two guys were told it was booked that way. And in the year 2017, excuse me, we don't cut our heads anymore very often. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe a WrestleMania situation, or even then, it's not. It's technically that's against policy.
Yeah.
So
But
it was just a silly thing to do to book a first blood match, knucklehead. Well, I love it. But the people had a great time. There was a big crowd there. I'm not really sure, but it was packed, and I don't know what else to say.
Was this the weekend of your seminar?
Yes, I did the seminar the next day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, today's Wednesday.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I did it Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was a really big turnout for the seminar. I did 2 of them. I did a beginners and an advanced class after that. So I was there. We had about a total of about 5 hours. I stayed an extra hour at the end, and really, really nice school. Ken Anderson and Davari have, and sorry, Molly Holly, and Molly came. Davari was out of town. He showed up, I guess he flew in right after I was done, but Nora showed up. It was always great to see her. Although I had to adjust the way I talk when she's around. It's hard for me to cuss and, say a lot of the things that come out of my mouth without blushing with her in the room. So, yeah.
What were some of the differences between the advanced class seminar and the beginners class seminar?
Well, the advanced class, the second one, a lot of the people from the first one stayed for the second one, and we just organized into groups, and for the second one, and I organized. Some guys did an 8-man. There was a tag, and then there was 2 singles matches, and then I was kind of like the agent / producer for them.
Wow.
Helped them set it up, and then they had the match, and there was some pretty bad clusterfucks, but don't even bother bleeping that.
I was like,
I saw
Yeah.
Mark look time code. Okay.
Yeah, no, I've got it. Just in case. Lap. Okay.
It's pretty. It was, yeah. But that's because you know what? They're at wrestling school. It's not like they're seasoned professionals. So I wasn't expecting much more. So actually, I wasn't expecting any more. But the first, since I'm going backwards here, the first seminar was mainly all just film study and Q&A, and it was great. It was everyone liked it. Everyone felt I was happy with it. Ken Anderson was happy with it, and everyone there seemed to enjoy it a lot. So I think I'm going to keep doing them.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Did they bring in the film that they want you to study, or were you showing them this is a match
WWE
that you
Network
should
is a
follow?
hell of a thing.
Yeah. Only
Yep.
$9.99, people.
That's it. Yeah, everything I needed was right there. Thank you, WWE Network. So,
speaking of WWE, ready for the news?
yes.
Okay.
Why don't we hit it?
Xpac
We did.
1, 2, 3, 60.
Hey, that's you.
News.
Don't spoil it.
Oh boy! So WWE shakes things up and releases some WWE superstars. So on Sunday, WWE announced that on their website that Emma, Darren Young, and Summer Rae were released.
Yeah.
This thing, particularly with Darren Young, I saw him he was at the Clippers game
Yes.
doing a whole bunch of not promotions, but a lot of stuff with the kids and stuff like that. So to wake
And
up,
that was the night before, right?
was
Yeah,
Saturday night.
literally the night before.
so to wake up on Sunday,
He was doing that representing WWE?
yes,
Yeah.
it was him,
Alrighty
Becky
then.
Lynch.
It was
It was-
WWE night at Clippers, so
Yeah.
they had a bunch of superstars there.
yeah.
Becky Lynch slapping the mascot
Yeah.
and all that shit.
Miz, Enzo came. Both of them came with the belts. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
So it's like you see all that, and you see they're promoting it on Twitter, and then to wake up the next day and know you don't have a job. So here's my question: does WWE at least give you a courtesy heads up, or you just find it out like everybody else?
I'm not 100% sure about that. It's been a long. I've never gotten one of those from WWE.
Yeah, it just seems like I don't know.
Yeah, every time I left WWE, it was a mutual, decision, and it was. The only letter I ever got like that was from Nick Lambros and Eric Bischoff. Well, actually, Nick Lambros was WCW's legal counsel,
Okay.
and so that was the only time I ever got a letter firing me by
Yeah,
by mail.
it's just
So.
Yeah.
So I don't think that I think that, I don't know if theirs are by mail or if they get a phone call or how that works now.
yeah. It's just
Did you talk to D?
I spoke to him, and I didn't. I
thought about reaching out to him, but
Yeah.
I figured he might want a little.
Yeah, I didn't, because I'm known for asking, blasting off questions. So I just
Yeah.
said, hey, if everything's, just want to make sure you're, okay. If you want to talk about it, we're here. If you don't want to talk about it, no worries. We can always work out. So I kind of left it at that, and he said he was cool, and,
Oh,
I
I'm
hope
sure he seems like he would
Yeah.
be all right at this point.
Yeah, but it just kind of seems. It just seems like just so.
Well, it's a shame
TK.
for
Shade.
no, it's a shame for all of these because Emma recently returned
Yeah.
and she had amazing showings with Asuka these past couple of weeks, but she was just coming back from an injury, and Darren is just coming off of an injury, and
Yeah.
Summer Rae is coming off of an injury. So it only seems like a sort of a thing where we're going in this direction and we don't see where you fit in with
Right.
that direction. So sorry, we'll cut it here
Yeah.
before we bring it back on
Yeah.
TV.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem more complicated than that.
Yeah, I understand a lot more with Summer Rae.
Because she hasn't been
she hasn't-
since 2016.
Yeah. But I would have given an opportunity for Darren to come back and actually have some matches, and he hadn't even had any matches since he returned.
Not on
right?
TV. He's been
a house
traveling.
show or two, yeah.
A couple house shows since August.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he's not gonna have a hard time getting work on the independent scene
Yeah.
I don't think so.
if he
either.
chooses.
Yeah. if
And
he
it
wants
doesn't
to.
even have to be wrestling work. Like, he could be an ambassador
Sure.
for any company and
Yeah.
just a great face to
That's
have
right.
out there talking for you on your
Yeah.
behalf.
Yeah.
And Emma, she bummed out by that just because I was kind of rooting for her because
Like
because she's not, there's a lot of girls that have some that have more, that are more gifted, athletically and whatnot. And,
Right.
But she really was out there and,
But there's
and
some
really
girls-
works her ass off.
There's some girls who are. It feels like if she had the right storyline to push her, she would have got there. But it's like she wasn't afforded the opportunity. I don't know. I didn't see too much of her, so it felt like.
Yeah.
And then after her last match, it's like, oh, she has a lot of potential. She can do
Yeah.
some stuff, and it's just like now it's.
yeah.
Yeah.
weird
Well,
timing.
here's the thing. These things that seem like big, bumps in the road or whatnot, or big roadblocks you run into in life or in your career, are most oftentimes opportunities in disguise. And I believe Emma will do just fine. I believe Dee will be just fine as well. The thing about the Emma release was. I was spending a lot of time with my kids, so I was just hitting up social media just randomly, not as much as I usually do, but I did see the Leo Rush thing.
That was
Yeah.
really unfortunate.
It was a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big bummer. It was, anybody want to,
Especially since he
Yeah.
just came into the
Signed.
company and to already have kind of like something bad in the media. It was
Okay,
just
but-
wasn't nice, I guess you can say.
it wasn't, but it got way blown out of proportion,
Yeah.
that being said. And I didn't realize that everyone had piled on him when I commented on it, because I even
Yours
I
was
quoted
actually-
his tweet. I just said, "Sad to see this from you," because I was one of the guys that put a word in for him.
Right.
Yours was one of the first reactions that I saw, and then I think it was also his apology after that got even more ire because of the tone
wording,
of it.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
So the tweet was, I guess these are the things that happen when you're not truly ready for WWE, Asuka.
With
So
a clown face.
With a
and
clown
yeah,
face.
it just
There was no reason for it, essentially.
Yeah,
He could have just, he didn't even have to say anything, honestly, but the fact that he put it out there, and maybe some people wouldn't misconstrue it as something really bad, but the fact that he put it out there, that's what's bad, and, you just don't want to see that, especially because someone just lost their job, and
Right.
whether or not you like them or care for them or whatever the fact is, they lost their
If
job.
yes, that's the thing. There's some people that are going to just defend somebody that they like no matter what. It's like my granny, but may she rest in peace. Any one of her kids, and the biggest F ups, the biggest F up of them all. It didn't matter. Even when I was wrong, she would just defend me like I was right, and that's not the case. And a lot of the people that were defending that tweet were wrong, and even the people that were even more wrong were the people that are wanting Leo Rush's head on a chopping blocker to have him fired. Don't be idiot. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
well, that's the culture we're in. It's kind of one of those things that I don't try to do it in malice. It's one of those things that everybody is tweeting, everybody's on social media. He probably tried to do it in a certain way, and then it backfired in his face. And it's just one of those things. He has to take the L for it.
Yes.
So
This is just all this like backlash and all that. That should be the end of it. That should be the consequence, and that's it.
Yeah.
There's no. Come on. He should be fired. He didn't mean his apology. How do you know what he means or doesn't mean? We're not in somebody else's head.
And also, social media is such an important part of the business these days because it allows a direct link to these people. So this is another part of the learning process.
Yes.
Where now that, not to say that he didn't have a lot of eyes on him before he came to the WWE, but now that he has even more, this is just part of the process. There other superstars have made worse tweets and are still with the company. So it's
not even something that's even being considered. Like,
sure.
Nobody in their right mind would even think of, okay, let's get rid of this guy over a tweet.
It's a learning experience.
Yeah.
Oh, all you people out there that are doing that piling on, and just stop. Like, get a life.
In all honesty, it probably happened at a good time for him before he gets too much momentum and he's in a great position and he does something stupid. Like, at least now he's
Give
got the
people a
learning
chance to
experience.
forget
Like,
about it.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
I screwed up. I'm still new. I'm learning.
Yeah.
Maybe he hasn't gone through, like Dijak needed to go through media training. Maybe he hasn't gone through all that yet.
Everybody needs to go through media training.
And he thought, oh, this is funny, right, guys? I'm going to tweet it, not realizing that it would have been funny in the room you were in,
Yeah.
but not for everyone to see.
The thing is if he would have figured out how to actually make it funny, it might have not gotten as
Well,
much.
that goes back to what we were saying
Yes.
earlier about, like, that joke better hit if that's
right.
your punchline, because it's either going to be really good or really
Yeah.
bad.
I just think it's interesting how last week we were having a totally different conversation when it comes to Emma. We were talking about TLC, talking about how, she wasn't squashed, which a lot of people, they were upset that Asuka didn't squash Emma, but, other people like myself this is great because this is giving Emma an opportunity to stand head to head with Asuka. And now she's been released, which to me is just like very heartbreaking, especially because you have to think about the future. And in terms for women, I think it's a lot more difficult for men to go and pursue, a career in the indies. There's more work, but it's a little bit more difficult for women. Emma has the name, which is great, but it is going to be a little bit harder for her. I mean, I would like to see her in TNA, maybe in Impact, once they, get their financial situation more put together. I think she could do some wonderful things there, but as of right now, it's kind of just like a floating thing. As for Summer Rae, I feel like this might be towards the end. I think she might
she's heading
pursue
to Hollywood.
something else.
She's going to Hollywood. I don't think that there's a question.
Yeah, exactly. I don't
If
see
she
her
hasn't
pursuing
already,
wrestling.
I mean, she's
She's not a wrestling person.
But
I'm sure she'll get, a WrestleCon or the big event that's right. I think the big event's this weekend. Right? November 4th, right?
Research. Yeah, that's this Saturday.
I'll be there.
But that's with Summer Rae. I've been like her and Emma, I should say, their days in NXT. Some people say that Paige and Emma started the Divas Revolution with their NXT Women's Championship match, which is still an amazing match to go back and look at. Summer Rae's character work with Sasha Banks when they were the BFFs, and even bringing Charlotte into the fold, some of the best. And I'm real sad that we didn't get a chance to see her on WWE TV again.
Yeah.
Summer, talking about Summer, right?
Summer.
When the Fandango character was introduced and they had Summer with him as his dance partner, I loved that combination. That was great, and it worked, and it was a good role for her. Mm-hmm. And I just after that, there was nothing they did with her that I thought really I don't know, it just didn't fit. It didn't work for me.
Yeah.
I wonder if Emma has to do the 90 days, or if she's gonna opt out of the 90 days and just like you'll see her on Shimmer or on WoW.
Well, no, she should take the 90. She should take the 90 days and take the money.
It could be a good time to reflect and kind of see what the next steps are. Essentially, now I'm just wondering, like, if they already knew that she was going to be released during the time that she was facing Asuka, and if it's kind of like the right hand didn't tell the left hand sort of thing, or How
why
did
the
this
hell
all
did-
come
Yeah.
about? You know?
Okay, so if you knew you were releasing Emma, why didn't you have Asuka just run
Right.
her the
Yeah.
F over?
Yeah.
Nothing
been
against
a lot
Emma,
of
but
Wheel her
like,
out.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a little confused by that, but you know, people. I'm not one of these people that thinks that that Asuka not squashing Emma hurt anything at all. So, okay, what's next?
All right, Triple H will be heading to the squared circle.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, let's do that one again. That sounds great. It's the cue next to that, by the way. Anyway,
There was so much time in like
Yeah.
that news story went on so long.
It was-
I think
it was one of
I
these.
think they just
It was one of these.
real thought it was all over.
Like how all three of us just looked up like.
Dad? It's fine.
So Triple H tweeted that he's gonna be headed into the ring for UK when they go to WWE goes to UK. So
Yeah.
SmackDown and Raw is gonna be going there. Interesting fact: Roman Reigns is still sick, so he's still out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of we were kind of discussing. That's kind of one of the reasons maybe why Triple H has decided to do that. So it should be an interesting thing for their European tour.
That's Paul. Like he can go from not having a match in a year and just hop right in the ring. Have-
So,
yep,
what
that's
about-
he's like that.
What about the thing like with ring rust? Does he continually train as is, or is it just one of those
No.
muscle memory type things?
Yeah, you've been doing it this long. I don't have ring rust.
It's like riding a bike.
Yeah. No.
Well, he just wrestled in Chile, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that was with SmackDown. He wrestled with the New Day, and the video of him going around twerking and dancing with them got pretty hot.
He beat Rusev, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think so. I thought it was.
Yeah, I'm
Could've sworn I saw
glad
him
to
hit.
see that they added Triple H to this because they could have easily just been like, okay, well, he's not going to be there. Continue with the show. But they didn't. You know, they added something for the fans, and, you know, the fans are going to know that this is special. And I'm glad they do it. I'm excited for them.
Well, I mean, they could have done that, but it wouldn't have been a good idea. And WWE knows that when you have something like that happen, you want to make people feel like they got a little something extra in return for somebody
For being
a
invested
headliner
in you.
missing
Yeah.
out. Yes. Like let me just give you for an example. When I was getting ready, like I'm the heel and Scott as Razor Ramon is the baby face, and I have a singles match run with him on all the big shows, Madison Square Garden, New York, Philly, Baltimore, like that whole loop. So it was right around the time Scott gave his notice, and then all of a sudden they pulled up a drug test from like 6 months prior to that and said he failed it. And so they took him off the road, and they needed a replacement to work with me in one of the top matches. And so they bring in Roddy Piper. Wow. That's how they replace somebody. Yeah, you bring somebody either of equal or greater value. And so that's that mentality. That's why Triple H is replacing Roman Reigns.
I think we saw that with TLC too, and the fact that we have so many people who still can go. I think that provides this rare opportunity that we're seeing. Unfortunately, a little bit too close together with all of the bad sicknesses that are going out. And I heard somewhere that some other folks might have gotten sick as well on Raw, but I didn't see anything else substantiating that. But with the Triple H, with Angle, like that 100% goes along what you're saying with the equal or greater value.
Yeah.
And we got Angle Dad with the Shield last
Yes.
week, which was great.
I like that. Bray Wyatt also has been cleared, by the way. But I do have a question. So, as an athlete, like, I feel like you have certain injuries, or you're always like sore or injured in a certain part, certain part of your life.
Sure.
Do you feel like when you go back and you do the ring stuff, it just aggravates those old kind of injuries, and you're just kind of out for a little bit, or how does it?
You're talking about that? I'm not sure I understand.
So meaning, like, for instance, like I tore both my hamstrings,
Yeah.
my shoulders jacked up, my fingers jacked up, and I
Yeah.
think I have back injuries.
Yeah.
But the way my body works is like usually one or the other kind of,
One's bothering you.
one's bothering
rotates.
the rest of the body. It
Yeah.
rotates. So
Yeah,
I find
that
when I do
happens.
like a workout or I do something else or like play football, like I'm jacked up, not for 2 weeks, but like a month.
Yeah.
So do you find like that's the same thing with your body as well?
Sure, yeah. I used to, like, if my neck was bothering me real bad, I'd just, like, break my pinky or something just to get my mind off.
What are you, major pain over here?
Oh. I'm just joking.
Wow. All right, Pat. Don't do that at home, kids.
Well, on that note.
Here's the thing, though. Like, you know, there's the soreness you get from when you first get back in the ring is like an old friend that you know came back.
Yeah, you're used to having it. It's just always there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually comfortable.
You're used to that bit of pain. Like,
that's right.
Yeah, when you're not, I don't remember a time not being in some sort of pain.
That's right.
At all. It's never happened.
That athlete life.
There's different kinds of pain, everyone. You know.
It's that, like, you know, you get out of bed and you're like, oh, okay,
sore.
my ankles are going to bother me today. All right, cool.
All right, but before we get to the next story, why don't we take a quick commercial break? We got some words.
Don't you tell me what to do, Mark.
Okay, I won't.
B, Donica.
That's me. That's not me, so I won't listen.
B? I said B, not P.
Okay, I thought. I'm also deaf, so there is that.
We'll be right back.
What's up, party people? Roxy Stryer here from The Tomorrow Show with Keven Undergaro. We're your twice-weekly broadcast of one man's midlife crisis and the mad millennials in Star Trek uniforms that follow him.
And I'm one of those millennials, Lauren Magrasso here. We've had some amazing guests like Russell Simmons, Ileana Douglas, and Craig Gass. Coolio, right?
Christian Blatt in the house to tell you to go to thetomorrowshow.com to check us out. We're live every Monday and Thursday from 10 to midnight Eastern. That's thetomorrowshow.com. Be there or be square, whatever that means.
Hey, X-Pac 12360 fans. I just wanted to tell you 2 ways that you can support the show to help it grow. First, if you've ever wanted to shout out a surprise message for various occasions from me, all you have to do is visit celebvm.com/Sean Waltman to request a video today. Not only does it support the show, but a portion of the proceeds go to charity. Second, visit ProWrestlingTees.com/Sean Waltman. That's the only place to grab shirts with the X-Pac 12360 logo, Wolfpack, or many other designs. If you pick up a shirt, make sure to tweet us using the hashtag X-Pac12360. That's celebvm.com/Sean Waltman for a personal message from me, X-Pac. And ProWrestlingTees.com/Sean Waltman for X-Pac, Wolfpack, and X-Pac 12360 gear. Thanks for supporting the show. Now let's get back to it. All right. I guess we're back.
That was clean. It was
I guess
good.
we're back to it.
Thanks, Sean. And now back to Sean.
Now back to it.
All right. Impact has had some releases of their own.
Hello?
1, 2. There it is.
3.
Thanks, Phil. Yeah. I mean, it's been a rough week. Who'd think that right before the holidays we would get
That
A
one
bunch
better.
of releases.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So Rockstar Spud. My bad.
It's a rough name,
it's-
and he also has a very heavy accent too. So yeah, Rockstar Spud was one of the folks that they released, which is he did a lot of comedy stuff like the past little while, and it was good. And I love his style in the ring, but I'm just happy that he gets an opportunity to take that somewhere else.
Yeah, me too.
Where
I
about
like.
somewhere else?
That somewhere else is reportedly 205 Live in the cruiserweight division.
Yeah, according to Pro Wrestling Sheet, Ryan reported that he's possibly going to be moving over to there. So that's the rumor.
That'd be a good fit for both parties.
I think he'd be the first guy that could give Enzo a run for his money on the mic, and just have him and Enzo on the mic back and forth for a while. That'd be great. Of like, who's the bigger bad guy?
I think that's what draws you in too, because I don't when I do see 205 Live and here and there, that's what's kind of missing. It seems like Enzo has all that like amazing mic skills, and everybody else is there, but they're not. I almost kind of look forward to the nonsense that he's gonna say. Like, okay, what is? And then the hip hop references that he uses in them is absolutely amazing. Like, did he just from that out? Okay, like it's amazing. It's like I really enjoy his stuff. So it's kind of like if somebody does come and rival him, that would be an interesting counterpoint.
Yeah, I hope it happens. I think people know I'm a rock star. I'm a cock star stud fan.
Well, and he hosts his own show on the High Spots Network, so maybe that's something that WWE likes about him, that they're going to bring him on and give him a network show. Or
Multifaceted.
give him a YouTube show or something like that, where maybe he like interviews just the 205 guys and they have an entertaining thing backstage with just the 205 guys.
they might also, he might be a missing piece of the puzzle for the long-rumored UK show. Having him and Nigel on commentary, Now, I would love to see both of them in the ring again, but I mean, for various reasons.
Retired, right?
Yeah, Nigel's retired. But Spud, I think deserves a chance in the ring for WWE.
So do you think WWE actually takes profit from the YouTube series off the WWE superstars? Like, for instance, like, Xavier has his show, Bella's has their show.
Xavier, definitely. Xavier, they get sponsored by the video game companies, and talent gets paid based on that stuff, and then the company gets various things. His merchandise is on WWEshop.com. It's not its own separate thing. It is a product. It is another product of WWE, but more of like, all right, just don't.
Up, down, down is a product of WWE.
Yeah, the shirts
I
and
thought
stuff.
it was their own. I thought he did that on his own.
He created it. He created it by himself.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, and then for some recently they've been like airing stuff that he's been doing for the YouTube series.
And it's not just Xavier anymore. Like Cesaro has a Clash of Kings series, like for a mobile game, and they have these big ad tie-ins. Like Rocket League was a big sponsor of the WWE for over the course of 3 pay-per-views, from Great Balls of Fire to SummerSlam. Rocket League was a major sponsor, and they had a tie-in with Up, Down, Down. Instead of putting it on the regular WWE channel, they had a whole tournament featuring just superstars. They made their own.
I remember that. I saw that.
Yeah, and so there's some stuff where it's a little bit more WWE than Xavier, where it's like him at home doing an unboxing of like a Disney loot crate or whatever.
I'm missing out on the gaming thing, right? Like, I need to start.
Oh
being
my
a gamer.
gosh, it was crazy. I went to the Madden NFL. This guy won $250,000 for
$250,000.
Hello, that's a lot of money.
for playing, and that's what he does. He spends 8 hours training. Like, that's his job. That's what he does. It was unbelievable.
It's the old classics that are now coming back in like the full high def, where it's like,
the
this is
Madden
how I
and
remember.
stuff.
Well, not just that, but like Doom. The new Doom is one of my favorite things. I flippin' love the new Doom. It's so great. But yeah, gaming.
Butch Reed
Didn't they
and
have like Castle
Ron-
Wolfenstein? Have you ever heard of
Yes,
that?
no, yeah, the new
Do you know
Wolfenstein
how
that
old
came
that
out.
game is?
Yes.
I mean, into the late 70s, early 80s. That was a computer game from like the TRS-80 computer that I started on in like 1982.
They rebooted it a couple of years ago when the sequel just came out, where it takes place in America, but in a Nazi-controlled America. And
That sounds fun.
It's there's
Kind of like Man in High Castle style.
yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of. So, and there's a lot of darkness and a lot of stuff that you wouldn't expect to see. But apparently there have been some rewrites of the script and some stuff that you find from the current American political climate over the past couple of years. Anyway, yeah,
Me and Denise over at the kids table over
yeah, man. But anyway,
I played Duck Hunt back in the day.
Yo,
Duck Hunt was
When
sweet.
the dog just laughs at you.
Just the whole deal with the gun and
was the
everything.
best.
That Nintendo was the best.
So cool.
Yeah, with the Super Mario and the Duck Hunt. What was the other one that I played? Yeah, whatever.
That was the
I
double
need-
game, right?
Hey, so
It was one of them,
I'm
Duck
really thinking
Also
about
track and
taking
field.
up gaming.
Yeah?
I think I can get a gamer pass as far as being a newbie.
Oh, I think
Sure.
you'd.
and there's some ways that you can travel with it really easy, or just take it at home. Actually, I have one of my
I want to
systems
get a
with me.
Twitch channel or
Yeah.
whatever the hell you call it.
Twitch.
I want to get like all
Oh my gosh,
what
that
everyone
would
else
be
is doing.
awesome.
Man, I
Because
can
you'd
set
be
that up.
throwing all these F-bombs. It'd be great. I
Yeah.
actually would watch that.
Hey, let's try to hook that up.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
I'll go by-
This
I'll
is
go-
Mark's area of expertise.
I'll go buy the PS4 and like all that shit. And you
Yeah,
just
we'll work
hook
on that after
up.
the show.
All right.
This sounds like a show itself. Like
It is.
Sean getting into competitive gaming.
Not competitive gaming, dear God.
Well, here's the thing. I'll be just competing with myself, and I just think that because of some of the cognitive issues that I have from different things over the years, I think that there's something about gaming that'll help me with that. Will help like reroute different shit in my brain, and
It helps a lot in PTSD.
Yes.
Yeah.
The VR. That's going to be an amazing treatment for PTSD.
Yeah. There's some amazing stuff on there, and once they really unlock it and make it cheaper for people to develop, I agree with you. Yeah. Wow.
All right.
So Rockstar Spud, super excited. But before we move on to the next story, just while we're talking about the cruiserweights, there's also been a long-held rumor that Hideo Itami is going to be going up to 205 Live once they have something storyline for him. And what do you think about that? About 205 Live being the place where Hideo Itami can come into his own?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because I know him as Kenta, right?
Yeah.
And you know, in Japan, I want to see that version of him as close to that as possible. And I think that when you get injured like he got injured, that screws with your head so bad. You know, and it's such a nasty looking injury. Even now, you can still see
the scars
because it looks similar to how my shoulder is. You know, and I want to see him overcome whatever that is. That was, you know, whatever. Because I just know it's there. I know at least it was there.
He had an amazing match with Bobby Roode at TakeOver a couple months ago for the NXT title, and he's not really been on TV too much after that. He had a little thing with Cassius Ohno, Chris Hero, and since then he's not really been on TV, so I don't know if they're holding on to him for a little bit so that they can figure it out and get him right up there. But his past couple of months have been pretty solid.
Oh, good.
And really aggressive.
Good, because it's just such a crying shame to have a world-class talent like that not showing even anywhere close to their full potential on such a huge stage.
Definitely.
How many writers do they have like on each show?
Boy, I don't know. I really don't know.
And I don't know if since the cruiserweights are also on Raw, I don't know if that's something where it's one team on the two shows or if they hand it off.
Because the reason I ask is, like, say if they have 6 writers, it's a big locker room. So, you know, these 6 writers are thinking of storylines for, you know, the main event and all this other stuff, so people get left behind. But there's more writers than, you know, so I'm just kind of wondering how they break that down to try to make, you know, maximize the people that they have there.
I would be lying if I said I knew that. I show up and I, you know, say hi and, you know, visit.
How many writers are there here currently? It's like, that's a weird question from you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know a lot of those, you know, specifics these days. Because things have changed so much since I was there full time. And it's easy to go, oh, it was way better back when I was doing it. But, you know, this is how it is now.
Well, I just remember there's one more thing from, and now I'm just calling him Kenta, but he had a match with Oni Lorcan, Biff Busick.
Oh, yeah.
Where Oni hit him with an uppercut and broke his nose. They stopped the match, took him to the back. He was cursing the entire time. They went to commercial, came back, and he walked out from the back, still with the messed up nose, and finished the match.
Okay.
It was just like nuts, and of course completely. How can you play? I'm gonna break your nose, but it was one of the moments where you went, okay, I'm really into this guy, and I want him to hurt people.
Yeah. I want to see that. I want to see that. I want to see that. Hideo Itami.
Yeah.
How do you say it?
Hideo Itami.
I like Kenta much better.
Yeah.
So much better.
All caps.
Kenta.
That's how he used to write it.
I want to
Yeah.
see that. I want to see that Eye of the Tiger.
That,
no
like,
pun.
Japanese strong style.
Just that whole like
Fighter spirit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to see anyone get hurt, but I want to see that. Oh, the smaller guys, they have to have that.
Yeah. I think that's why he'll be good on 205, because so many other wrestlers in 205 are from the indies and have that mentality and style and know how to go with someone like that in the ring and aren't going to be afraid to get hit. Especially that hard, because they're gonna get hit. Yeah, but imagine Hideo and Cedric, or Hideo and Rich Swann, or Gallagher. Like, any of those pairings would be good. Hideo and Brian Kendrick. You know? Oh man, it's just so much good stuff. You don't even know. You have no idea.
This is how he says. Wow.
It's like how they were talking about video games. How
Jeez,
you talk about hair.
You got wood underneath that laptop right now talking about this?
Wow.
Spanky?
A great story for you.
Scoot over that way a little bit, Denise.
Thank goodness
And get
Lila's in the
Lula
way.
away from her.
Don't wake her up.
Wow.
She was snoring a bit. I love this show.
Wow. I will move on. The Young Bucks have been added to the list.
The list. They just made the list.
So Chris Jericho, he has a cruise that's coming up. So he had posted on Instagram that they're going to be added to the cruise, which is going to be, you know, a pretty awesome event. Like,
But we were talking earlier, and we wanted to ask the room, what does this affect Jericho standing with the company by having the Young Bucks on the cruise, or especially with the recent
Cease and
quote
desist.
legal trouble?
You
don't
know,
think so.
I'm pretty sure Chris is not overly concerned about getting a little bit of heat for something like that. He's got, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what the nature of his deal with, or what the relationship is with WWE, but I mean, it's just he comes in and does some stuff and then leaves for a while.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho's a guy that knows what he's doing, essentially, I feel.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure. And, I just don't see that being a huge issue at all. Okay, they might fire Jimmy Jacobs for showing up on, being the elite or showing up, walking outside and taking a selfie or something. But Chris Jericho is a little bit different than Jimmy Jacobs, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So the Young Bucks, Stan Lee's Comic-Con happened in Los Angeles, which was awesome. The Rock was there. Delicious. But also who was there as well as the Young Bucks, and they actually ended up slamming
Christopher Daniels.
Yeah, he was on our show through a table, which was kind of interesting. I wish we had the video to show.
That's okay.
Yeah, they had the whole panel, and then the panel ended with a big fight between the Addiction and the Young Bucks. They ended up powerbombing Chris Daniels through a table and hitting a Meltzer driver.
I can't believe that they would do it on one of those stages.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're not comfortable.
Cool. I don't really know what to say about that. I wasn't there. I just think it's kind of cool that. I saw Stan Lee send a tweet out a few months ago.
Yeah.
Putting over the Young Bucks, and
Oh,
the
really?
Young Bucks jumped all over that.
Oh,
right.
wow.
Yeah.
So.
Thanks, Uncle Stan.
Yeah, it was something like that, but really it was like, I don't know how personal the tweet actually was, but I would have done that too if I was them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at Stanley's Comic-Con, but I was working, so I didn't get to see any of this. But I was just like looking, and I was like, wow, there are so many wrestling fans here. This could be like half of a wrestling convention. And, in comparison to the other conventions, is that comics and, wrestling fans intertwine versus if it was more like an anime convention or something like that. So it was really cool to see like this community of people all around. It was fun. I'm super mad that I missed the Young Bucks and everything. But the Young Bucks are just so smart in terms of marketing themselves and getting all this stuff on here. So being at Stanley's Comic-Con and doing all this was like an awesome move for them.
There does seem to be like a crossover with a lot of the Comic-Cons as far as like a wrestling conference.
All the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of meeting Virgil at San Diego Comic-Con.
Wrestling
that was great.
Superstar Virgil.
Yeah, Wrestling Superstar Virgil.
Yeah.
He put me in a headlock without asking me. It was great.
Did he have a booth or was he walking around?
There was
Did he have a pop-up?
No, he didn't have a pop. There was an area where I was in line. It was billed as Ted DiBiase and Virgil, and my brother was a huge.
Ted must have loved that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he didn't show up. He
Ted
was like,
didn't,
Ted couldn't make it for some reason or other. My brother was a huge $1 Million Man
Because
fan.
he found out they were announcing him with Virgil.
Yeah.
Probably. But yeah, Virgil.
I'm just being honest.
Virgil got there really early, and everybody was in line to meet Ted. So he
Yeah.
just started coming up and talking to us, and said, "You want to know how to get out of a headlock?" And just put me. And I was like, "I'm just okay, sir. You're in control. Do
Did he
whatever
start
you need
biting
to do."
people too, like he did the dude on Larry Wilmore?
It wasn't that late. This was like
Remember
this was
that?
like 10 years ago. Yeah, but it was wild.
Oh, boy.
But yeah, no, there's always been that bit of a crossover. If there's any sort of pop culture, there's some folks and Virgil that will always tend to be there.
And wrestling's hot right now, so even
Yeah.
more than ever. That's why Bullet Club had a panel at Stanley's Comic-Con. Last year, it might not have been a thing.
Right. You know what?
Topic money.
I stopped by Hot Top, 2 different Hot Topics, and did not see any Bullet Club merch in either one.
Really?
No.
I saw like Ingobernables. They had their own like area where it was like their own setup with all of the various shirts, and I don't know if they had umbrellas yet, but they had
They have
like
patches.
Yeah, they have patches,
Stickers.
pants,
Yeah,
stickers,
stickers.
hoodies,
There's, like,
all
selected-
sorts of stuff.
Not selected Hot Topics, but the ones where maybe it sold out before, so they decided to push it more in those areas.
I've gone to a few Hot Topics in different cities, and I've actually seen them in all of them. But they were here in Southern California, so.
Yeah, I missed
Yeah.
in Duluth, Minnesota. They don't have it, and in Eden Prairie Center, they need.
That's a little surprising.
Yeah. You
But
need to get with the program over there.
I feel like if people weren't already jumping on this Chris Jericho cruise, they're definitely gonna, be super psyched about it because it just sounds like cool madness.
Well, I would say this is building to Kenny versus Jericho on the cruise. Because him and Kenny have been having their whole Twitter war
Clever girl.
back and forth. He just booked the Young
Yeah,
Bucks
of
on
course
there. I'm
that's
sure
what-
he's going to book Kenny on there, and everyone's going to finally get to see Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho.
And so a bit of a tangent, but did anybody see their Halloween costumes this year? Kenny Omega was Jasmine.
Jasmine.
Marty
Scurll was
Scurll
Aladdin.
was?
Yeah,
Aladdin.
Marty Scurll was
Oh, yeah.
Aladdin, and the Hangman was the genie.
Yeah.
Okay. The best was, give me a boo. And he puts his boot on the turnbuckle, and he's like, no, not a boot, a boo. And he puts the monkey on the turnbuckle, and he slams his head into the monkey. It was hilarious.
The ref was like checking Kenny, and he was like getting frisky with him.
How come they didn't have Bad Luck Fale be the genie?
He was in the U.S.
Oh.
for the Comic-Con.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just the three of them were out there. And last year it was the Ghostbusters, and Nick Jackson was the ghost, right? I
think so. Yeah.
Any really, really brutal Halloween costumes this year from wrestlers? No?
I like New Day's costume.
New Days were good.
Yeah.
Drew Gulak as Sasha Banks.
Drew Gulak was Sasha Banks, and it
with
looked
the wig and everything.
It was
awesome.
ridiculous. Oh man, they did a Halloween costume contest, like live streamed
I
it,
did see that.
and Sasha was like, "Oh, this is great. I don't have that much down there, but what? We're live." Sasha dressed up as both members of the bar. She had one of those like stacking costumes.
Inflatables?
Yeah. Where it looked like it was somebody standing on another person's shoulder, and she made the bottom one look like Sheamus, and then she wore like a bald cap for Cesaro.
Right.
But New Days was the best.
Yeah.
Biggie was Akeem the African Dream, and
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any there's
Have you
footage
ever
of him
seen
doing
that? Have you guys ever seen that?
Yeah.
You have?
Of
Have you
course,
seen
the rap.
Akeem?
Yeah, of course.
I didn't know what to think of that back then. And it was just kind of, because I was like, okay, I'm still like all about the more serious characters, and but I remember, okay, I liked One Man Gang when he came through Florida, and then they did. Kofi was Brother Love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who's that? Jimmy Hart.
Yeah.
Jimmy Hart.
Oh,
Xavier Woods
come
is
on,
Jimmy
that's
Hart.
great.
Yeah.
That's classic.
Rusev crushed.
I wasn't
Biggie's
sure if
candy,
that was
got super
Donald Trump or
pissed.
Brother Love.
Red versus Orange.
That's where Donald Trump got that from.
I want
just-
people to love me.
Wow.
Well, I'm talking
Terrible.
about the orange.
The orange skin.
Yeah, the carrot. Too much keratin.
Carrot gimmick.
One of the Bellas is making a comeback to WWE.
One more.
So, Nikki Bella, the rumor is that Nikki Bella is going to be making a comeback to WWE, and it's going to be it's going to be documented through Total Divas. But the whole thing is that Daniel Bryan, his contract is ending next September, and the rumor is that she's going to try to make a play for his job, that type of thing. So that's kind of what the whole storyline is, because Daniel has been saying that he wants to go back to wrestling.
Yes.
And if WWE doesn't re-sign him as far as wrestler, he's going to go to the Indies, and then Brie is like, I feel like this is a soap opera. Brie is backing him with that, so it's kind of like, what do you think is going to happen
So
with that?
Nikki would be going for the position.
Nikki
and-
would be going for the position allegedly. Yes.
Interesting. I mean, one of the things that happened on Raw is the Daniel Bryan came as a representative saying, "Hey, I wasn't behind the attack last week," and got chokeslammed by Kane in the dark, so that he didn't actually get chokeslammed. But they brought him in and got him hurt for a little bit, but he seemed to be starting to express, at least on TV, a little bit of like, well, they get to fight and I don't.
Yeah.
Just a very, very, very little
And a
bit.
couple of radio interviews too. I think he's mentioned that as well. So.
And definitely on Twitter. He hasn't been silent about it. Yeah.
I just think that a person should do the things that make them happy. I hate to see somebody go and cause any more long-term damage health-wise, but we have our journeys, and he has to take his wherever he feels like taking it.
But that's the thing, health-wise, though, it just feels like he's at the point now where everything seems like it's all intact. So if he were to go back and something else happens and he's no longer able to walk or do all this other stuff, it seems like more of a risk.
It is more of a risk.
So I don't.
It is more of a risk, but here's the thing. That being said, we're all, every single one of us, the most healthy of us, are one bad bump away from being paralyzed for life. So I mean, there's that way to look at it too, and we can adjust, and most of us do adjust our styles over the years as our bodies get more beat up. And I mean, I would assume that Daniel would be mindful of these things when he steps back in the ring.
But that's also, isn't that a case too with who you're wrestling with? You need
Yeah.
an experienced wrestler
That's
in order
right.
to.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. Good luck to
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, I hope for him. I mean, I just want him to be happy, just like you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not for anyone else to say what he can or can't do. I mean, yes, his immediate family, the mother of his children. I mean, she has every right to be concerned about anything. Yeah. I mean, really, the rest of us, whether it's the people that are pushing him to get back in the ring, or the ones saying, "Don't do it." Like, really, step back and let him make his own decision.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and Daniel's just like, he's incredible, first of all, and he's just one of those guys that lives and breathes wrestling. This is his life, this is his love, and just like everybody has their certain passion in the world, if he doesn't return to the ring, if that's the decision that he makes, then he's going to go his whole entire life thinking like, I could have done it, or I should have done it, and he'll never know what the outcome would have been. He can go back to wrestling and be perfectly fine because, like you said, every guy that goes into the ring and chooses his career, they all have, unfortunately, they're running all the same risk. So it's more just like, if this is something that he loves and he feels he is still capable of it, then, do it,
Yeah. Yes.
So.
Yes. You don't want to be, 50 years old and
Regret it.
Yes. Resenting things, and it's not a good. It sucks.
So
It sucks.
WWE hasn't cleared him, but is there a possibility where they can make it where it's like
His own doctors have cleared him
He's
privately.
been cleared by
Yeah.
top NFL
Right.
doctors,
Yes.
by people that know they know their stuff.
So with
Well,
that,
I wouldn't take an necessarily NFL's doctor's word on that when it comes to that kind of thing.
I know
just
he went to
saying.
UCLA
Okay.
and got cleared by a
Good.
physician
Like
there.
the head guy, right?
Yeah.
I would love for him to find a pupil and just bring up the next guy that's gonna fill his shoes. Like, this is the guy I went out and scoured and found that's gonna make an impact on wrestling like I did, and just be his manager and at his ringside, and he's still on TV and people are seeing him.
he doesn't want to do that.
I think that would be great.
I could see. I see him more as where he is now, but I feel like once an athlete, always an athlete, and he's not ready. He feels like since everybody's cleared him, he wants to do exactly what you're saying.
Oh,
like
yeah.
what he does. So for him to go and do this and watch somebody, and then now be ringside all the time and watch somebody do something that you want to do, I think that's even worse than just being.
But I don't mean WWE, you're going to manage this guy, make him popular. I mean him literally go out and find someone that he sees potential in that reminds him of himself, that he wants to get behind and nurture and guide him like William Regal did with him. I would love to see that.
Yeah, maybe when he has a son.
And it's not necessarily the same type of injury, but when Shawn Michaels had to retire and then came back years later, it could be a situation where in a couple years he'll be able to take a test and pass the test based on changing criteria. So it's definitely not the last time we're going to see him in the ring.
Or if business is down and they need somebody to help boost business.
Hey, Kurt.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Kick
Anything
ass.
else going on around here?
Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Really?
Sorry, that's what I did.
Was there something I'm forgetting?
No.
No? All right.
In terms of where you're going to be this weekend,
Yeah.
anything like that?
Well, Saturday, November 11th, you'll be at Real Pro Wrestling for Red, White, and Bruised in a tag match. And then you're headed to Australia for the Australia tour from November 24th to the 27th. You'll be in Melbourne on Friday the 24th, Adelaide Saturday the 25th, Brisbane on Sunday the 26th, and Sydney on Monday the 27th.
This weekend, I'm at the big event.
Yes, the big event that Shawn Michaels is the headliner of. It says right here, the big event in, where is it?
It's in New York somewhere,
Yes.
LaGuardia.
Yes.
Do you get jet lag?
Yeah. I don't know. I do, yeah, but it's usually only when I go overseas. Not as much like coast to coast. Yeah. No, because, my hours are I don't know. I'm pretty. The way I go to sleep, I go to sleep fairly early these days compared to what I used to.
Right.
And I don't know what the hell that has to do with any of it, but I just don't think I don't feel the jet lag domestically as much.
Because it just feels like sometimes, like if you're traveling to certain places, like you are fighting it, but then your body's like, no, like if anybody saw Wendy Williams go down yesterday, it's like, no, your body's like, no, we're laying it down. So it feels like traveling that far and back.
Am I an asshole for laughing at that?
No.
A lot of people are.
Assholes
A lot
are
of people are
laughing.
No,
assholes.
laughing.
All right. I mean, because she's okay, right?
Yeah, she was good. She was just, she was probably wearing a waist trainer, where she's known for wearing. If you guys haven't seen it, just Google it.
I didn't think
You
we'd
mean
get to
like a
Wendy
corset?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
That's what a lot of women are wearing.
Still?
Yes.
That's
they buy
bullshit.
that to make their weight. Kim Kardashian's the one who brought that back into the whole
That's
trend.
like torture.
and renamed it
Yes.
waist
So
train.
then
Why
did
don't we
she blame it on her
bind their
costume?
feet while we're at it?
That's so hardcore.
It could be the costume plus the waist trainer, and you
Plus
know
the
she's
lights.
older and lights and
Gotta stay hydrated. With your
Dehydrated.
boxed water, anyway.
Box water. So, yeah. I guess, that's about it, everyone. I'm happy everyone joined us this week. And next week, we're going to have a special guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll clue you guys in sometime this week on my Twitter account.
We'll find out.
So, for the baby Lula and everyone else here at AfterBuzz TV, we'll see y'all next week right here on Xpac 12360.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Sean Waltman, producers Jimbo Frank and TK Trinidad, managing producer of AfterBuzz TV Wrestling Mark Donica, and the entire X-Pac 12360 staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in. Like us on Facebook, rate and comment on iTunes and YouTube. Follow X-Pac on Twitter at TheRealXpac and email us at xpac12360show@gmail.com. This has been a presentation of the AfterBuzz TV Network. Buzz you later.